Hello, this is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE. Welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time, welcome. So today I'm going to be showing you a card using products from the May Concord 9th release. This is the Filled In Florals stamp set along with the coordinating dies. And I'm also going to be doing something a little different in this video. I'm adding in some of the products that I'm using actually on the screen. So leave a comment below and let me know if you prefer that or if you are okay with me just saying it and then you getting the products down below. And I will always, as always, link the products below. So for this card, I am going to be using my Misty stamping tool, although this is not required. This would be a very simple card that you could use an acrylic block or any type of stamping tool that you have. I have kind of become dependent on my Misty stamping tool because I am so awful at stamping, and so I am going to use it here, but you absolutely do not have to. So I decided I wanted to do some tone on tone, and the first cardstock that I'm using is the Lawn Fawn Ballet slippers, and all of the cardstocks will be from Lawn Fawn. And you can see I'm taking that stamp and just kind of moving it between my hands a little bit, and that's just to condition the stamp because it is new. If you're using a stamping tool, it's not really necessary to do that. You can just stamp it, and if you don't get a good impression, go back in and stamp it again. So for the tone on tone for the ballet slippers, I decided to use Distress Oxide Picked Raspberry, and I am going to be using Distress Oxide inks throughout this entire card. So I'm going to ink up my stamp really well, and I love that Picked Raspberry. That color is so gorgeous, and I thought it would look great against that really light pink ballet slipper cardstock. So once I get that stamped, and in full disclosure, I will stamp each of these stamps twice, although I edited out the second one. So after I stamp each stamp that comes in the set, I am going to clean it using the Brutus Monroe Squeaky Clean. I have to clean my Misty door, so I figure I might as well go ahead and clean my stamp and get it put away and just kind of get that step over with. So for the second cardstock, I'm using the Lawn Fawn Cilantro, and this is a really pretty light green, and I decided to use a darker Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide on top of that. And I do off camera stamp those leaves again with cilantro ink, and I ended up using the Mowed Lawn. So this is the one that I ended up using. The cilantro looked okay, but I like the Mowed Lawn a little bit better. So I'm going to stamp those two leaves out, once again clean off the stamps, and then move on to my next cardstock, which is going to be Mermaid. And on top of the Mermaid, I'm going to be using Peacock Feathers. And for this one, I'm using the little like daisy looking stamp, and then I'm also going to stamp that large one again that I did in the beginning with Picked Raspberry. I decided I wanted to have a blue one as well, so those two flowers could be the main focal point of the card. So I'm going to stamp those out really well, and then I'm going to move on to my final cardstock, which is the Sticky Note. And I love this light Sticky Note. They also have a really pretty sunflower, but I decided to use the lighter of the cards. So I'm going to lay the two stamps down, and I am also going to stamp that daisy twice as well. And for this one, I'm going to use Oxide Squeeze Lemonade. So I'm inking that up once again, stamping it on, and I am going to use the coordinating dies to die cut all of these flowers. And I use a Big Shot machine is what I use. You could use any die cutting machine that you have. And what I'm doing is that there's no adhesive or anything on these flowers. I'm just kind of laying them out to figure out how I want them on my card. And the panel that I'm using there is the new Hero Arts Hero Hues, and this is the Pitch Black. And I saw several videos where Jennifer McGuire talked about how great this black is and that it really is a true black color. And so I decided to order it with my last kit, and I love it. She is so right. It is definitely a really dark black cardstock, which I love. So I'm laying everything out the way I want it, and then I'm going to take Glad Press and Seal, and I'm sure you've seen this done in other videos. If you've not, this is a great way to pick up die cuts once you have them laid out, so you don't have to, they're not moving on you. So I'm just going to cut off a small strip and lay it on top of my panel and push down so that way the stick on the press and seal will pick up all of my die cut images. And I am going to use one of the little leaves, or lose one of the little leaves, excuse me, but it's okay because I'm going to be able to just pick that back up and put it right on where I need it to go. So I'm going to remove my panel, And there you can see I have all of my florals stuck down. So now all I need to do is take my glue, and in this case I'm going to be using the Gina K Connect adhesive, and apply it to all of my images. I decided I wanted to keep all of them flat because they are layered on top of each other, so there's no foam tape or anything like that. So I'm going to use the Connect glue throughout the entire card as far as the images go. So I'm just picking up pieces and adding adhesive down, and there will be one area that I will have to add adhesive once I flip it over back onto my panel, but for the most part I'm able to get adhesive on everything with it on the press and seal. So I was struggling with my black cardstock on my black Tim Holtz glass mat, so I decided to take some of the packaging, which is white from Concord 9th, and lay it down first, and that was much easier to see where my panel began and ended, which was difficult to see on the black mat. So I'm going to pull up my press and seal, and you can see everything stays put and where it's supposed to go. Doesn't tear your paper, it pulls up very easily. This is a great tool to have in your craft room. I'm going to glue that little edge down, and you'll see that I have a sentiment on there, the Hello Darling Friend, which comes in the stamp set, and I did not like the way that came out. I decided that I wanted to do it in just a black and white sentiment, so I stamped it on the Hero Arts Pitch Black, and I'm using the Brutus Monroe Alabaster white embossing powder. I love this embossing powder. It's a very crisp white, and it turned out great on this pitch black paper. And one of the really cool things about this set, and why I wanted to get the coordinating dies, is because the die actually cuts out. They made it very simple. So when you line it up, Concord 9th left out the L, the A, and the E, so you can line those up. This was so smart, and this is why I love this company. They're always thinking of ways to make our crafty life easier. So I'm going to put that down, run it through my die cut machine, and I know it'll be straight. And there you can see. So I am using my Tonic retractable craft pick just to pick out some of those areas that didn't cut. I do have this linked below. This is an old one. I don't even think they sell it in red anymore. I think the new one is black. And I'm just going to adhere that down with my Gina K Connect glue, because I did use foam dots for the one that I didn't like, so it already has some dimension. And if you make a mistake like this, you don't like the color, it's so easy to go back in and change like that. I'm going to take my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen and just very lightly add some little shimmer to my flowers and my leaves. And next I'm going to show you something that I've done before, but I typically don't leave it in a video, but I thought it might be pretty cool for you to see because we all make a lot of the same mistakes in our craft room. So I decided to add Nuvo drops to the center of my flowers, and I am also going to add the blue, and I did not like it at all. So what I'm going to do is take a microfiber cloth, and I'm going to just wipe that up. And that is a great trick with Nuvo drops. If you put them somewhere and you don't like it, you can wipe them up if you get to it pretty quickly. You could have also used a baby wipe, but because I used Distress Oxide inks, I didn't want the inks to start reacting with the water from the wipe. So I just used a microfiber cloth. And I did go in and decided to add some gems to it, which I did off camera. So I'm going to use my Gina K Connect glue, adhere this to a Nina 110-pound Solar White card base, and that's the final card. This card, I love the pop of color that comes off of that Hero Hues Pitch Black, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you learned something or you found something new product that you'd love to pick up and try yourself. This would make some great wedding cards, friendship cards, thank you cards. There's so much versatility with this set. Thank you so much. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Have a great day.